Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is Meena from our Ayurvedic Healing Center. I'm the bestseller author of 2 books, have been working and practicing and teaching in the fields of health, healing, spirituality, consciousness. And first of all, I want to invite you to this amazing opportunity. Coming up in January, I will be offering a 3-day trauma healing retreat from January 21st to 23rd. The link to register is in the description box. So if this calls out to you, you can go ahead and register for free. Each day, we're going to be focusing on the role of trauma. First day on our chronic illness, second day on emotional and mental unrest, and third day on relationships. So I believe that if we can look at the trauma and really heal the trauma that is a root cause, we are going to feel better in the body, mind, and heart. So do check out that link in the description box below and sign up if this is the work that you are ready to do. So in this video, I'm going to talk about one of the things that we really miss, or the connection we don't make in our day-to-day functioning, and its relationship to trauma. So in the sense of day-to-day functioning, I'm going to talk about when we are overdoing, overcompensating all the way to total exhaustion and overwhelm. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So because of trauma and because of our built-in innate desire for safety and belonging, we begin to learn subtle new behaviors so we can continue to stay safe and we can continue to belong to others when we've had experienced the trauma, or even during the period that we are experiencing trauma. An easy example would be the child who is afraid of being hurt, so they turn into continuously pleasing the caretaker, pleasing the parents, right? And also that child who feels like if they're going to be reprimanded, if they don't come on top of the class, if they don't get the top grade, they overperform, where they get ahead of the trauma and overdo to the point where that kind of becomes a race. So this learned behavior actually continues on in an adult life because we don't necessarily look at our beliefs underneath the behavior. We don't look at healing the trauma. We continue to carry on what we had learned as a result of being traumatized. So in the adult world, one of the trauma response is overdoing. That overdoing leads to overaccomplishment, overachieving. And the contrast is that in spite of the overaccomplishment, the overachieving, the feeling of the individual remains that they are not good enough. I've had adult clients who are highly, highly accomplished, and they come because they lack that self-worth. They don't feel worthy enough. They don't feel good enough. And when I remind them all they have accomplished, these two things don't connect for them. So there's so much in there that I'm going to try to unpack. First of all, our self-worth is divinely given. We don't know that, or we forget that, because we are all born into a culture, a broken culture, that the messaging is that you're not good enough, you're broken. Go ahead and fix yourself. So worth is divine given, is God given. Secondly, our self-worth is not dependent upon how much we accomplish, how many trophies we have on the wall, how many certificates and awards we have collected, right? That's why no amount of overdoing actually takes the feeling of worthlessness away, because we are trying to fix a problem with a solution that is actually not linked to where the problem is coming from. So the overdoing, many times, it actually, the positive side to that is, if there is a positive side, that we overaccomplish. These are really highly accomplished people, right? But it comes at the expense of total exhaustion, depletion, nervous system breakdown, and actually not feeling happy at all. Right. So the cost of that over accomplishing, first of all, is too high to pay. Eventually you come to a halt because you can't continue to go on this way. And that's a learning that this overdoing, people pleasing, having someone else tell you, yes, you are good enough. Here's your certificate. Here's your pat on the back. It leaves us really vulnerable to manipulation. Many people who have this deeper experience of worthlessness, these are the same people who actually get manipulated by, like dangling a carrot for them. If you do this, you're going to be recognized. Or, they end up in a narcissistic type relationship dynamic, because there's a false belief that they are going to get something that they're searching from this relationship, a sense of belonging that they are searching from this relationship. And actually, the sense of belonging also is distorted. It's, sometimes control. In the case of a narcissistic type dynamic, the control is misconceived as belonging, right? When someone hurts you, you mistake that as, I must love them. That's a whole new topic. But that's why it is so important to heal the traumatic experiences, because they're shaping our everyday behavior and actually leading us to unhappiness, exhaustion, overwhelm, and isolation from our life, from the loved ones, and from what we truly, truly value. Because the safety and the well-being is at stake when there's trauma happening, the learned behavior is to the extreme. So one extreme I already talked about, which is overdoing. The other extreme is total withdrawal. People who just can't even function. They won't get out of bed. They get depressed. They have constant depression. Their inability to carry on day-to-day life. So that's the one extreme. Another extreme is just overdoing. None of these extremes are going to bring us lasting happiness. The lasting happiness is going to come from when we realize that we're not our trauma, that actually at the soul level, trauma can't touch you. Your inner being is not bothered by the trauma, right? These are, again, these sound like cliche things to say, because they can be. We have to be careful that, yes, even if they're not bothered, but in the physical sense, we still have to go through the whole physical, mental, emotional layer. We still have to heal so we can connect with the inner being, right? So the healing is so needed when we are in the human form and living in this 3D world. We have to heal the trauma, otherwise it affects who we are, affects us on every level, in every area of our life. So, and one of the ways the overcompensation shows up is pushing through. Those people that you think they're always a bit abrasive, or they push themselves through. It's really a learned behavior. Like, if I don't scream, if I'm not pushing through, I'm going to be left behind, or no one is going to recognize me. One of the traps about recognizing this behavior is, if you are just naturally good at overdoing, if you're just naturally good at doing all the things, that you can do a lot of things really, really well, really fast, and speaking from experience, then you think, no, I'm just doing it because that's who I am, which can be a trap. But underneath, deep underneath, there is that desire to please, to have someone tell you, oh my God, you are like the magic. I've heard these things, I've hit the jackpot. So it's like you need to hear that again and again. So you get into that trap of overdoing, only for a limited time, because at the end, you're going to get exhausted. You're going to get mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted. Then slowly to come to a point is that it is okay for you to move at your pace. What you're doing is not doing anything to impress anybody. We're really at the end living our life for us. That's the result of healing trauma, that it shows up as ease, as just clear, steady confidence. And the desire is to carry out your mission rather than to prove your worth. Um, you kind of work at your own accord. You are not caught up in the bells and whistles of the world, of the life. The intention is not to manipulate or to con somebody into doing something. You just simply show up as yourself and do the work that you are ready to do, and whoever notices it, whoever needs it, hopefully will find it. So this is the video about. So what you can tune into, that if you feel more overwhelmed, if you feel overwhelmed and exhausted and depleted more times, even if you're feeling like that half of the month, that's a lot. So tune into how often are you feeling that, and then see if you can link back to where is that coming from. Even if in the physical sense the overdoing is not showing up, are you constantly figuring out or thinking or beating yourself up because you have not done the things that you think you need to do in order to get noticed, in order to get the recognition? So tune into where that sense of overwhelm, exhaustion, lack of energy is coming from, not just the physical. Tune into your way of thinking, your way of feeling, your way of being, and then connect back to as to where did you learn this overdoing? Was there a time in your life you were trying to please the parents? So we carry on the relationship with our parents even after they pass. We still hear their voice, right? We hear them. We're told the voice of criticism. We are still trying to please because the ties are so deep and so strong. So it's just my invitation for you to take a look at how you're feeling, being, and then connect it back to where that is coming from. And then you know that there's a work that needs to happen in order for you to heal the trauma, in order for you to heal the beliefs or update your beliefs and come to a place of ease, of simply being yourself. I hope that that was helpful. If it was, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to put your questions in the comments. I read all of them, and I'll be happy to get back to you. And I do invite you again to attend my 3-day trauma healing retreat happening in January. The link is in the description. And in the meantime, if you want to get to know my work more, you'll see many links in the description. One of them is to join my private Facebook group. It's called Heal the Root First. So be sure to check that out. All right, take care. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.